8-6 Save the Species to straighten up, and they sent on their journey from the 1200 meter marker. Towards the inside, Dimitri flashed out with speed. Atacama raids on the right-hand side, McKellen slotting in. Joint efforts in the White Silks moved up second, then comes the Ghoul. On the outside, TRANSONIC's getting across beautifully into fifth, and if you're on TRANSONIC, one off the paint, fifth, 4 lengths off. Further back is Lord Caro, reminders for Tromso as they sort themselves into stride. The Ghoul coming to the 600. Tonight's fight night's got about 7-8 to make up, Save the Species. Dimitri with 400 to go. Joint effort, McKellen. TRANSONIC, if he's good enough from there, he'll win. At the 300 meter marker, Dimitri, joint effort, and now TRANSONIC starts to unleash, coming to the 200 meter marker, and TRANSONIC hits the front. Coming inside the last 150 meters, and TRANSONIC from joint effort, and this is bullseye. What a ride. Warren Kennedy got him one off the paint. Second joint effort, Lord Caro, and then came McKellen. Well, how's that? Warren Kennedy, within 200 meters, he got him across. He was one off the paint and just cruised down the lane. If you were on the Cape Town Noir for the Smiths, of course, Shah Stars colours, you ran into July many years back. And Dennis Bosch, TRANSONIC, Warren Kennedy, top ride, joint effort, Lord Caro, and then came McKellen. Number 11, TRANSONIC, went to a 4-rand the win, 140 the place. So coming to the 300 meter marker, joint effort had the lead, but within 2 or 3 strides, TRANSONIC was all over him, and that was it. The rest, as they say, is history. You can go stand in the queue. Number 11, TRANSONIC for the Smiths, bred by the Summerhill stud, Dennis Bosch. And you've got to give it to Warren Kennedy. He got him over beautifully, and that's it. Back to the studio.
Now, horse number 11, TRANSONIC, we mentioned you'll know your fate. I was just seeing the running of race number 2, and the son of Cape Town Noir has come through to win. Nice to have Mr. Smith on course, bred by Summerhill stud. Dennis Bosch and Warren Kennedy team up. And before we even touch on this win, I have to compliment Den. Den, come through. This is my first elbow shake on. Well done, man. You're having such a wonderful run with your horses, and I see there's support also coming from, respective yards all around the country. So you're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank the Smith family, Keith and his wife, daughter, the whole family, for sending him to me. He was unlucky last time, he got beat, but we learned a lot from that race. As Warren said, we think he'll go a little further. But today, brilliant ride by Warren, don't you think?
Yeah, fantastic.
From that draw, yeah, that's what you want to see in a jockey, placing him in the right spot, and when he let him go, it was the race over.
I mentioned at the top of this interview, that things are going so well for the yard, but obviously it's a team effort, and you must be over the moon.
Yeah, Gary works like a Trojan, and of course on the farm, Lorenzo and Des is there. It's a hell of a big thing, and they all put in their 2-bob piece in there, The grooms are all working well. So when your team's all together, it's easy, and when you get a jockey like Warren riding at the top of his game, placing horses, it makes a huge difference.
When you look back to a few seasons ago and the number of horses that you had to now, it's just been a full turnaround for you, Den. So compliments on that. You must have a decent string now.
No, in our main yard, we only got 30 horses, and then we got, I think it's about 35 on the farm, which are babies and things like that. It's not a big string. It's just, I think the horses are running quite consistent at the moment. And I think that's what helps when the stable's running, consistent. When they go off form, that's when it's hardest. But well done to Keith and his family again, and to Warren, great ride.
Then before you leave us, anything else from your side?
Yeah, we got Calabria and Mutawari. Both these horses have got ability to run well in their races. I think it's a competitive race, and I think they'll both be in the shake-up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get Warren in, and before we compliment him on the ride and everything else about this performance, Warren, I just want to touch on something. It is a speed bump for you. You do all the traveling. You're the jockey that's on top. You're the man to catch. You must have, plans in place now on how you're going to go about your business with all the traveling around the country.
Yeah, look, traveling doesn't stop. Take precautions as best I can. If it does happen that I have to end up being quarantined or something, that's just the nature of the game. But I've got to crack on. I've got commitments. I've got people that are depending on me. So I'm carrying on as normal, taking every precaution possible, mask, gloves, everything I need, doing all the necessary. But look, I'll carry on traveling until such a time as it's announced nationally that there is no traveling allowed, and then I will adhere to that. But at the moment, it's still full steam ahead.
How's the airports and everything? You're a man that frequented it. It's precautions and protocols in place there.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's a different site, seeing everyone with the masks and all that sort of thing on. But look, everyone that needs to travel, that has to take precautions. There's family members when you get home that you have to worry about and that sort of thing. So yeah, do everything you can to help yourself from not catching anything and staying as healthy as possible. But for me, business as usual, these.
Well, 10 out of 10 for commitment, and we wish you all the best, Warren, because thus far it's been a tremendous run this season. Coming back to this horse, the one thing I mentioned is that we'll know our fate in the first half of the race, and you answered that 5 stars.
Yeah, look, that was the key. I had to get him out, to get him in a good position, and try and get him to switch off as early and as quickly as possible. And I managed to do that. He got in, he settled nicely, and then just before the straight, he started to get a bit keen with me. They slowed it up slightly, and he started to travel a little bit. But the job was done. That first half of the race, like you say, yeah, and he quicked in nicely to win a race. He got tired towards the end, but also he hasn't quite learned to race. He's doing things a bit wrong. But Mr. Bosch will get onto that. I think he's also actually going to go a little bit further once he learns his straight properly and learns to relax, so he can save that for the finish. But lovely win. Well done to Mr. Bosch. Well done to the Smiths. Now to see them made it to the course. They braved it here to the course. But it's fantastic for them to be here and to lead in the winner.
Okay, you got one on the board. Can you help us?
I think I'm pretty competitive. I've got Rail Trip. She's well in, but she has been well in a few before. But she's a bit of an enigma. Depends if she rocks up and she wants to run. She's capable, definitely capable. I've got Rachel. She looks like she's in the right race. I think she'll go very close today. I've got Spanish Oasis in the next. Open sort of a race. Not very strong the next race, but she's got there or thereabouts form. Maybe I can lift her up a little bit and get her past the wheel line first. But I'm competitive right through.
If you were taking a pick 6, if you were marking one for somebody, your good mate, where do you say banker Warren Kennedy?
I would like to say Rail Trip, but I don't have that much faith in her either. She's let the team down a hell of a lot of times. So I'd probably lean towards Rachel, but it's not a strong banker, Dees, but I would lean towards Rachel maybe.
Thanks for that, Warren.
Thanks, Dees. Well done to Mr. Bosch and his whole team, and well done to winning form as well. Thanks.
Lovely. Let's get Keith in, and Keith Smith has made it to the track, and he's over the moon. He's ecstatic, all smiles when he let his horse in. And why not, Keith? You've been patient.
Very pleasant surprise for us. Well, not surprise. We're looking forward to it. We thought he would run a good race. Dennis gave us a bit of confidence about him. The draw, obviously, we were scared of, but well ridden by Warren, and thanks to Dennis for preparing him so well.
With everything going around with restrictions, etc., he said, I'm not missing out on this one.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's a lovely surprise for us.
How many horses in training now, Keith?
No, we've only got the 2.
Which is the other one?
They're still up at the farm.
Oh, lovely. So 2 runners, 1 winner, It is a hard game, as they say, but this horse has done you proud today.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Keith. Lovely. Well done to everybody concerned here with race number 2. 11, 5, 7, and 8 is the way they cross the line. Up next, it's the big one. Race number 3, 1400 hours. That's 2 o'clock. The big one, the pick 6. And the groom of Transonic, please come through, Unati. Well done to Unati, receiving his 1,000 Rand, and that is number 11. That is the winning groom, Unati, of race number 2.